Hello and welcome to this lesson on the two tunes John's Polka and The Knife's Edge. This is another one of those Morris medleys. These are two tunes that the ladies' Morris side dance to. I play the Melodeon for a ladies' side. They are called Chelmsford Morris. They're a northwest clog dancing side, and they do a dance called Banks Lane to these two tunes. So I will give you the full full Morris version if you want to play that, but I'll give you a cut down version for home playing as well. A lot of the lessons that I have for sale on my website are in the key of G major. This one's unusual because most of it's in D major with just the ending changing to the key of G major. So this will give us some much needed practice in the key of D major. If you know your instrument, you'll know that the row on the outside is the D row and the row on the inside is the G row. So with this medley of tunes, the notes that are on the D row will have the normal shaped heads, and any notes found on the G row will have the diamond shaped heads because we are in the key of D major for the most part. When it changes to G major for what we call the John's Polka playoff, that's where the ladies dance off, then we'll be in G major, and that situation will be reversed, except for the fact there are only notes on the G row in that playoff, so that won't be an issue. We start in pos H, position home, the home position, so that means the first finger will fall for me on my fourth button, because I've got a fourth button start, second finger on the fifth button, third finger on the sixth button, fourth finger on the seventh button, like that. If you've got a third button start, it'll be one button above that. The first two notes are F sharp and E, fingers 2 and 1. So the F sharp's on the push and the E's on the pull, and that's in that first pickup bar. So you would count 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. It's 2-4 because it's a polka, 2 beats the bar. It's very hard just to count 1 and go in, so I would count a complete bar of 2 beats and then count the first bit of the next bar and come in on the second bit of that. So count 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and like that. When we actually do this, it's a bit of an unusual dance, and I'll give you a link to the video, in that the foreman of the side, she dances on her own to start with, and then the dancers follow her, and then the band starts up 8 bars after that. So it's quite a long introduction just from the dancers. So there's our first two notes, very simple. And then we're into the first proper bar. There's no bass. You can see it says NC on that first bar, on that first pickup bar. So when we get to letter A, the start of the A part, that's when the basses are going to come in. And it's D bass, D chord. The D's here have asterisks, so they are at the chin end. On the push, D bass, D chord. And then we have an A bass, so the same button we played for the D bass but pulled out. And then you come back to the D chord. So it's all D's except for that A bass on the second beat of the bar. Now the right hand here, we have D. Okay, that's our root note of this row. So either button 4 or button 3. Button 4 for me. First finger. We then go to the octave of that. That's where the little finger falls. And it's the note D, of course. And then we hang on to that note, pull out to get the C sharp. Notice it's C sharp because in the key of D major all the F's and the C's are sharpened. And then we return to the D. So those last 3 notes of that bar are all played on one button. I wouldn't hang on to the button. In other words, I would repress it each time. So that's why you don't see any daggers on that. We definitely want that articulation of that note each time. So that's our pickup bar and our first full bar. It has to be said for the most of this tune that we are going to be playing just 2 chords, the D and the A. We do have a G chord come in on the 4th page, but up to that point it's all D's and A's. It's all these 2 buttons here. So that makes it pretty straightforward. Bar 2, stave 2. We have a B note on the pull, and then an A note on the push, same button, and comes the button above that for the F sharp, finger 2. And that's a crotchet and 2 quavers counted 1, 2 and. Don't forget it's only 2 beats in the bar. The bass for that, very straightforward. We have A bass, A chord, so these top 2 buttons, outside row on the pull, and then the same 2 buttons on the push will give you D bass, D chord. So far